Great Monday morning. Happy Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s commemorative celebration day. This is the third Monday of January. We rejoice and we are glad in it because the Lord has made this day. We are in Psalm 62, and it reminds us to put our trust in the Lord, for we are to pour out our soul only to God and only wait for Him. Trust Him at all times. Pour out our heart before Him. Amen. And know that we are not to be moved when stuff happens around us. You know, when we research, like I said, from just decades ago, the civil rights, when they would let out the fire hose and the dogs, and when houses, beautiful homes, I'm looking at a house across the street that looked like the house that Dr. King grew up. And that beautiful, I think it was 2 floors or 3 floors. But you remember those subsequent homes that he and Coretta lived in? Those houses were bombed. When you think about Medgar Evers and how they were just treated and assassinated. Oh my goodness. And the troubles that we have, come on y'all. We have it good here. So what are we doing with the life, the moments that we have to make impact for our brothers and sisters? It does not make any sense that we're having headlines of women beware, there are carjackers now on the south side. What is that mess? No, we have to impact our young people and show them and tell them who they really are and who they come from. Oh my goodness. In verse 10, it says, trust not in oppression. We're not caught up in these riches. That's the problem, that so many of them are so covetous. They want these cars and these things without putting the sacrifice in and the hard work. And then you get the reward of temporal riches to bless others. But it says, if riches increase, in verse 10, set not your heart upon them, because it's going to be someone else's. Right when you leave. In Luke 12:15, it says, take heed, beware of covetousness or envy. I know on social media that stirs up those emotions like, oh, I wish I had this, and these videos and all that. No, that's the enemy's ploy and tactic. For a man's life consisteth not in the abundance of things, of riches, which he possesseth. No. We are to bless others. Like I said, this is ridiculous to have as a headline, beware women of carjackers right now. That was last night's headline on the news. They're taking, they're singling out women by themselves and taking their cars. What is that? If they really knew who they were. So what are we to do? We are to make sure that our God is our salvation. We only trusteth in Him. We pour out our heart to Him, the rock of our strength and our refuge. Let's not get fearful out here. We have a work to do to impact this generation. I think about how strong and what sacrifice our ancestors gave when they came to the Americas. The first slave trade, 1619, when they came to, well, some say South Carolina, some say Jamestown, Virginia. Just know that they came to America, but being as cargo in the transatlantic, where they were in the ships and the bodies were on top and all that disease, and they were in each other's feces. But that they had pink eye, and that was just one of the diseases. But if it spread and then they would become blind, they're like, oh, we can't use them as slaves. They would throw them overboard. And that what was waiting? Yeah, sharks. That was their breakfast. That was their lunch. Do you see what our people went through before and how we're wasting time? I'm looking at that house across the street and thinking about how many times Dr. King's house was bombed, and others in the movement. Oh my goodness. And we have it so good. Lord have mercy. Don't get me started. Let's get started, and let's begin to really get revved up. Stir up that gift that is in you so that we could do the work that God has prepared for this generation. We don't have time To waste, yeah, this is a day of service, but every day is a day of thanksgiving and a day to do the will of God. Psalms 20, we will fulfill all thy counsel. Grant thee according to thy own heart. The Lord will hear thee in the day of trouble. We're in the day of trouble, but know that some trust in chariots, some trust in horses, but we will remember the name of the Lord our God. Have a wonderful day doing the work of the Lord in service.